events which they say he was just shot. Mahao was killed when opposition leaders, including former Prime Minister Tom Thabane, fled the country. Presenting evidence before the SADC Commission of Inquiry, which has started its public hearings, Colonel Bulane Sechele said that soldiers had fired warning shots when Mahao drew his gun and only shot him when he cocked it. For an update now, we're now joined by our SABC Correspondent in Lesotho, Nthakoana Ngatane. Nthakoana, thank you very much for joining us and welcome to the program. Tell us a little bit more about what happened in the SADC Commission of Inquiry. It seems that the good colonel has given a contradicting version of events to Maaparankoe Mahao's family.
Good evening, Peter. Indeed, quite a waited for event, this one. A lot of people attended it, including the media, tight security, lawyers of various groups, including the family of Maaparankoe Mahao himself, the families of the soldiers that are now in detention who have been arrested on allegations of the mutiny that Mahao was apparently arrested or killed in the cause of his arrest in relation to allegations of that mutiny. Now, in terms of what happened in the Commission of Inquiry today, well, as soon as it got off, Judge Maaparankoe, the chairperson of the commission, started by saying that the Lesotho Defence Force had submitted its request in terms of what it wanted the commission to do, which was to set aside 3 of its terms of reference. They included the fact that the army didn't want the commission to deal with the investigation of the mutiny itself, saying that a court-martial that has now been constituted is more suited to deal with those mutiny allegations. The second issue that the army didn't want the commission to deal with was the public hearings, saying that perhaps all of them should not be in camera so that they can have access to what the witnesses say. But to that too, the commission has said no. The third issue that the army wanted from the commission was for it to be represented as an organization, not for individual members of the army to appear before the commission. To this too, the commission has said no. So on that score, then the commission got off to a start with Colonel Bulane Sechele then presenting the evidence that you've just referred to in terms of the contradictions that have now come out, where the family had said Mahao was dragged face down, that he had been lifeless almost when he was taken to a hospital, and the army now saying that he actually walked from the car to the hospital into which he was then treated but apparently lost his life. Peter?
Thank you. Perhaps just before we conclude, what has the commission been tasked to find out?
Well, you remember that the commission, initially the government wanted to investigate events leading all the way up to July 2012. But after the SADC summit in Botswana, it then came back to say that it wanted the commission to only focus on 3 issues, really, in essence. It is the death of Maaparankoe Mahao and circumstances surrounding it, the changes in the command of the army, that is the appointment of Maaparankoe Mahao and his removal, and the removal of Lieutenant General Mudi and his reappointment. But also the other issue that the commission is supposed to look at is the issues surrounding the kidnappings and the alleged kidnappings, as well as this mutiny or the alleged mutiny within the Lesotho Defence Force and kidnappings of former members of the army, as well as killings of members of the opposition, which now the army says, well, it is not involved in. And as the commission continues tomorrow, we expect to hear from medical officers who accepted Mahao into hospital, and they will tell us what state he was in, because as far as Colonel Sechele is concerned, the post-mortem will show he only had 3 bullets. It will show that he was walking aided with support when he went into the hospital, but he was still alive, according to him.
All right, so that's where we're going to have to leave it. That was SABC Correspondent in Lesotho, Nthakoana Ngatane, and we'll get more updates from her as the days unfold. Francis?